If you've watched this channel for a while, you've probably noticed something.
Brenda shows up with a camera and vibes.
And Mark shows up with a plan, a shot list, and usually hands me a different lens halfway through.
Because I want her to be better.
And I want to be surprised.
So today we're talking about instinct versus intention and how the best photographers work. At the end, we'll give you some practical tips for growing your skills from snapshots to portfolio-worthy images to help you close the gap between the photos in your camera and the photos in your mind.
We originally set out to make a video about the 3 tiers of photographers. Mark saw it as a helpful framework for improving your discipline and becoming more professional. As we started talking about it though, I pushed back. Not because I think he's wrong, but because I don't always experience photography that way. So today we're talking about those 3 tiers of photographers and how that framework can help you grow your craft, and also why it's okay if it doesn't fully describe you.
We're Mark and Brenda Bergering, professional photographers, husband and wife, and adventurers. And on this channel, Brenda usually teaches photography advice and gives you a more philosophical perspective, while I cover technical gear and other related tech concepts.
But today we're bringing our perspectives together to show you why the answers aren't always black and white.
It's more of a histogram situation than a yes or no.
So the 3 tiers, why don't you start off by explaining what those are?
Yeah, so we broke things down into 3 tiers. Tier 1 is kind of like the reactive snapshot type shooting what's in front of you with little intent or little reflection. And tier 2 is above that. That's where you have intention and more responsiveness. You know what you like, you wait, you react, you feel. Now, tier 3 is often expected for professionals to be able to nail a specific shot for a specific client.
So why does this framework help, or what's the point of 3 different tiers of photographers?
Yeah, so I think this framework, it gives you a level of assessment of someone's preparedness and how well they're gonna perform. So as a tier 1 photographer, there's gonna be a wide gap between your expectation and the result that you actually capture. Ira Glass talks about the creative gap, the gap where you have good taste, but you just don't know how to accomplish it yet. In tier 2, you have more of an idea of how to capture what you have in your mind, but it's more casual and maybe more joyful for some people actually. In tier 3, it's really where you can create, but you can pre-visualize, you can pre-imagine what you're gonna capture, and then go out, capture it, and fine-tune it as you go.
So I guess when we originally started talking about this video idea, this is where I pushed back, because I tend to live in tier 2, which makes me feel like what we're saying is that you're better than me. And I know a lot of photographers watching probably live there too, which even if you are better in some ways, it doesn't feel that great for any of us, including someone who's a professional photographer and even teaches other people how to shoot.
Yeah. But I think the reality is that we storyboard and plan together for most of our client shoots. So you definitely work in tier 3 often, and it's a gradient. It's not that you're a tier 2 photographer and I'm a tier 3 photographer. There are times when you work in each zone, and even times when you fall back into tier 1. Well, maybe not you, but I fall back into tier 1. And I just get lazy and take snapshots that might not be that great.
Sure, we storyboard and we plan, but I don't do that when I'm shooting for fun. On vacation, you always have a plan and a camera in hand, whereas I wait for something to inspire me, and then I'll take your camera from you or dig one out of the backpack.
But working in tier 3 has made you a better photographer over the years, and your instinctual shooting is better because you practiced working within that framework. And if you only ever shot when you felt like it, you wouldn't have that many hours of practice, but your instinct is strong because you've put in all that work.
I guess that's fair. It's like going to the gym or any other skill or habit that you want to master. You have to make it a habit, not just something you do when you feel good.
True. Yeah, I think it's really important to put in that work and close that gap between what you see in your mind and what you create with your camera.
Well, and that's where consistency and practice and experience comes in. So, okay, I'll admit that. I am able to be creative and rely on my instincts because of all those years that we spent planning, vision boarding and scouting shots ahead of time. It taught me how to do it now without thinking as much. We used to pre-scout locations a lot more than we do anymore, and we needed to have a plan of what we wanted to try to create from that location. The wedding venue early on, we'll put the photo up on the screen, but there was this beautiful oak tree that we knew everybody shot, and so we knew we needed to capture that shot for our clients, but we also knew we wanted to expand on it, do something different that hadn't been done before. And of course, that was the beginning of us climbing trees to get cool perspectives. We do less now that we have a drone, except when you're climbing trees in order to recover the drone that you crashed into the tree.
We also climbed up on a building for one venue up in the Pacific Northwest to try to capture the background, which was Mount Hood. And we had seen a shot that we liked, and so we thought, let's see if we can do something a little different and get the couple in it and really create something interesting.
Or even for other types of works. We storyboard for client shoots or even on personal trips. Like we found these photo sketches from 2017 of shots that we wanted to take up in the San Juans, a kayaking night photo, a jumping off the dock photo, and a seaplane photo. And so honestly, certain days, I guess I want the plan, because if I'm not feeling inspired, I need to rely on skill instead. It's a luxury to rely on inspiration. And as professionals, we can't always wait for inspiration to strike. Sometimes we have a client to please on a certain day.
Yeah, planning helps when you want to hit a certain goal or meet a client expectation or shot list, but being too rigid doesn't leave room for responding to the scene. Instinct is amazing for being able to handle situations you couldn't plan for, but relying on inspiration is a little dangerous. If the light's terrible or the shoot is challenging and nothing is inspiring, then you're gonna have a really hard time.
And we've definitely had days with terrible light and nothing inspiring.
Yeah.
But I guess I admire your photographic obsession, your discipline inside the craft, and your technical consistency. I can perform on any given day if I have to. It's a job. I know I'll show up and I'll do a good job, but I'm much more influenced by how I feel and how inspired I am, and you're much more steady.
Yeah, but I think our approaches overlap, because though you can storyboard and plan, if you haven't been to the location, you don't know exactly what it's gonna look like and feel like. You don't know if the conditions are gonna match, whether that's the light or the weather. So you have to be able to adapt. And when things aren't working, you have to be able to look around and see what inspires you. And it's fun to just wander and see what strikes you, your inspiration, and go create, because you don't have any expectations. But I think you're much more attuned to being inspired and getting inspiration from the location and not having a preconceived shot, because I always have that, and I don't always have the ability to generate new ideas on the fly. I think that's where you really excel.
I mean, I think we help each other, because sometimes I'm not feeling it, and I turn to you and I say, like, okay, what do we do here? And you always have a plan. But let's be real, sometimes you're not feeling it either. You get frustrated when things don't match your vision.
Yeah.
And then you rely on me to be enthusiastic about finding something to say with our photos.
Yeah. For photographers who love structure, here are some experiments that you might try. Try planning out a shoot this month and pre-visualize a shot that you want to take. So do some digital scouting on the computer before you go to the location. Then storyboard something unique. Literally draw the picture in a journal on paper that you're gonna take. And at first you might copy someone else's photo, but the real goal here is to do something innovative and do something different. It doesn't have to be better, just different.
And then for photographers who are more intuitive, when you get to a spot, sit and notice before shooting. You don't have to take the camera right away. And then try returning to the same place 3 different times and capturing something different based on the day or the time or how you feel and what inspires you. Photo walks are great because you encounter different scenes you might be drawn to along the way. And sometimes it's fun to just pick a location or time of day that you love and inspires you and go shoot whatever calls to you. But for those intuitive shooters like me, don't just rely on intuition and inspiration to strike, because as we've talked about, it might not happen every day. And if you want to get better, consistency does matter. So we would benefit from trying the experiments on Mark's list as well.
Yeah, and for the planners, sometimes you have that vision, but it just doesn't happen. So don't let that keep you from enjoying the shots you did get or responding to the light in the scene right in front of you. So try some experiments from Brenda's list and tap into that intuition.
So what do you think? Do the tiers help you, or do you work differently?
And are you willing to try something different? If you haven't already, I highly suggest you experiment and learn from this, because it's a really powerful technique.
Make sure you hit subscribe and click on the links in the description to support the channel. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this style of video. We have one planned coming up for how we shot some different photos on a recent trip, so make sure you're ready for that in the next video, and we'll see you there.